World's fourth largest tire manufacturer, Continental AG, in 2011 acquired Modi Tires. Today in 2014 they are ready to launch a new range of tires for trucks and buses. We are here with us Mr. Benoit Henry, Executive Vice President, Business Regional Asia Pacific, Truck and Tires, to talk about his business plans. Mr. Henry, you have entered the truck and buses market right now, when the industry is going through a slowdown. However, replacement market is not that much disturbed. How do you see the business proposition in India?
I think what is important in India is that the fundamentals for the economy are strong and will remain strong. It is valid that currently there is a dip, especially on original equipment, so fewer new trucks are built. It is also valid that the currency is not doing so well for the time being, but that doesn't change the fact that the basics for the Indian economy are strong. And that's the reason why we would not see any reason to change our plans because of what is happening maybe during 18 months or 24 months.
So do you think that the Indian commercial vehicle market has already been bottomed out and you see a recovery coming in very soon?
This is of course very difficult to answer. But if we look at what is happening in other countries, there will always be a bottom. And I could imagine that it won't go much lower than it is now. I mean, we have elections coming up and we have the post-elections phenomenon which is going to happen as well. We see a lot of good things happening in terms of development in India, and I'm sure that the market will pick up quite soon as well. Yeah.
Tyre gets a lot of responsibility for fuel efficiency when it comes to vehicle friction and all. What kind of engineering you have applied to reduce the friction and enhance the fuel efficiency of trucks? Because it really helps in increasing operating efficiency as well as decreasing the cost of operation for truck owners.
Of course, fuel consumption is an important factor when it comes to truck tires, but they are not the only factor. I think that safety, for example, is an extremely important factor as well when it comes to truck. Safety, durability, the ability for the tire to have a second life with retreading, these are all factors that we have to take into consideration. Of course, fuel economy is one, and the major advantage of radial versus bias tires is exactly in that respect. You have a different way of working for the tire, which by definition has a strong impact on fuel consumptions. So basically, radial tires is the first step that you can do if you want to watch your fuel bill.
In commercial vehicle segment you have just entered, how do you see it helping you in global platform, the Indian capacity? What was the real vision? What is the vision now going forward as you have acquired the Indian company, you have started the operations? How do you want to take this forward?
You know, as a company, it has been decided that we want to generate much more revenues from Asia Pacific compared to Europe or the Americas. India being one of the BRIC countries, we decided that we want to tackle that big market. The opportunity came with Modi and we just seized it. So India is for us an extremely important element in our diversification, especially from the geographical point of view.
Going forward in Asia Pacific region, what kind of contribution do you think India will contribute? Because this is one market that is still untapped.
I don't want to give numbers here because I don't have those numbers. But when you know that the European market is maybe something like 18 million tires and the Indian market only is something like 16 million tires, you can imagine that we have high ambition for the Indian market and that India will represent very soon a very important part of our business in truck and bus.
Radial tire is just still in the nascent phase and it is emerging. Going forward, what kind of share you see that radial tire will contribute in the entire volume, and for bias tires?
So currently the radial tires contribute to 28% of the market. We estimate that it
around
will
4 million units.
Yeah, it's 4 million units. We estimated that by 2019 that volume will have doubled. We will be close to 50% of the market. And if we take as a comparison the average worldwide number, where radialization represents 78% of the market, you can imagine that India still has a lot of potential for growth for radial tires.
So you are going to produce both kind of tires here. Going forward, are you going to bring in some shift in strategy and bringing in more of radial tires and less of TVR and TVX?
We have already production currently of PLT radial in our plant in Modiporam. Production has started in December last year and is running already. So consumers can already buy PLT tires, radial PLT tires made in Modiporam. So we are not limiting ourselves only to truck.
What kind of business division you see in terms of OEM and aftermarket, business? What kind of
These two markets are equally important for us. I mean, if you look at Europe, we are the number one in PLT OEM supply in Europe with roughly 30% of the market. We would be happy if we can do the same thing in India, assuming we can offer an advantage to our customers. But those two markets are equally important. I would not put any of them above the other.
There's a great potential for you to export out of India because here there's a cost of production is reasonably better if you compare with other countries. Are you looking in this direction?
Yes, we can look into this, but it has to remain that our investment in India was mainly focused on the Indian market, and there are good reasons for. Tires that we are producing in India are unique in the world. We,
How well equipped are your tires when it comes to Indian conditions? Why should somebody buy your tires? What are the advantage to be in layman's language?
this is very difficult to answer in a short sentence, but basically the products that we are bringing to India now have been developed with the worldwide knowledge that we have, but they have been developed in India by our Indian colleagues, and they are really an answer to the requirements of the road transportation in India.
Thank you so much, Henry, for talking to us. We'll take